Are you conscious of your hip dips? Stay tuned for today's video. Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah and I am the Style Coach. If you're new here, this channel is all about personal style and personal development. So if that is your thing, please make sure to join the community here, like the video if you learned something new, hit the notifications, join me on Instagram at thestylecoach.ie and find out more about my online course on my website, thestylecoach.ie. Now let's talk about hip dips. Hip dips might not be something that's on your radar. You may not have heard of it. That's okay. Go watch another video of mine and come back another time. Hip dips might be something that is of a concern to you, and I want to address it. So the first thing I want to say is, well, what are hip dips? Good question. Hip dips exist because of where the femur, the leg bone, meets the hip bones. And there's a little indentation in the skin or the shape of the body at that point. So that's what a hip dip is. So I'm going to give you some tips. If you are conscious of the area, there are some things that you can do. There are some things that you can avoid to help you feel more comfortable in your body. I think it's really important that you learn to make peace with your body. Sometimes baby steps need to be taken before you actually take that big leap to saying, I love my body, and that's okay. Simply get to a place where you can accept it and work on it. And this is something that needs to be worked on daily. So don't always rely on the clothes to do the work. Start to do that work from the inside as well. And you'll find that my online course will help you do that. So do check it out. So let's get started. The first thing you can look for to help you become more comfortable with your hip dips are peplum tops. Peplum tops have a layer, they kind of go in at the waist and then they go out a little bit in a slight A-line. But what they do is create volume in the area where there's a lack of volume. In other words, your hip dips. So peplum tops are a great idea for somebody who is conscious of this area. So do start looking out for these if you haven't tried them before. Go into a shop, try them on, see how it looks. They may not be for you, but that's okay. But these are something that will work for somebody who is conscious of this area. Next up are A-line skirts. A-line skirts are going to skim the body. They're not going to cling to the body like some other styles of skirts might. So a good A-line skirt where, it comes in at the waist and it goes out, perfect. You're not even going to notice hip dips in this case. So go for A-line style skirts over other styles, maybe like a pencil skirt or something like that. It's going to work great. You'll also want to be looking for thicker fabric around that area. So when we're talking about, trousers, skirts, anything like that, thicker fabrics are going to give shape to the body in that area. So it's going to create more volume in that area, which counteracts the hip dips. Choose something that's stiffer, not something that's going to cling to the body. So that's really important to get that right. Something else you might want to look for if you are a little bit more outgoing with your style perhaps are bold geometric prints. So when we put interesting prints, busy prints on areas, they can, in some instances, they'll draw the attention to the area. But if the print is very busy, very bold, it disguises lumps and bumps. And so you're not going to notice your hip dips like you might if you were wearing a plain fabric. So that's just another little tip for you as well. My next tip is to look for pockets on your jeans, your trousers, your skirts, anything at all in that area. When you add pockets to that area, you are adding volume, which is compensating for the hip dips. So when you choose pockets on these areas, you're creating volume and you are not going to be noticing the hip dips so much. Some things that you want to avoid: clingy, tight fabrics in that area. When you choose a clingy tight fabric, it's going to highlight that area. Especially if it's a plain fabric or a plain color, it's going to be more obvious. So you might want to avoid that. Avoid lighter colored clothing in this area as well. Lighter colors tend to draw the attention there. So the darker the fabric you can go, the better. You will also want to avoid Bias cut skirts. A bias cut skirt is a fabric that's cut on an angle. When it's cut on an angle, it tends to cling to the body a bit more. Great if you want to show off your curves and everything, you know, that's super. But if you are conscious of this area, a bias cut skirt is going to be something you're going to want to avoid. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care. Bye.